It's race week, everyone. Mexican Grand Prix is on this weekend, so to celebrate that, we're going to take a look at the top 5 Mexican Formula 1 drivers of all time. So you know how it is on this list, guys. I go through the best of all time who have ever competed from a certain nation in Formula 1. Today we're looking at Mexico with the Mexico City Grand Prix on this weekend. And to my surprise, there have only ever been 6 Formula 1 drivers from Mexico over the years. So I'm just going to give a very quick shout out to Moises Solana, who is the only one who does not feature on this list. He entered 8 races in a career between 1963 and 1968 and never managed to score any points. But the first driver on this list has scored points in Formula 1 is Esteban Gutierrez. Gutierrez competed in Formula 1 between 2013 and 2016 for both Sauber and Haas. He was touted as a driver that potentially could have gone on to great things, but never quite realised his potential. In fact, he only managed to score points on one occasion in the Japanese Grand Prix of 2013 for Sauber. He's since competed in series such as Formula E and just been kind of a middling journeyman driver really since then. Not the most talented driver in F1, but at the end of the day he was there for a decent amount of time, and the fact he scored some points, I do put him ahead of Solana as a result. Sorry, Solana, I should say, as a result of that. He's only 33 years of age now, so, you know, I'm not saying an F1 comeback is on the cards or anything, but he's kind of been a reserve driver for a number of years for the likes of Mercedes as well, so he's kind of been around the paddock for some time now. Next up, number 4 on the list, it is Hector Rabac. Now, Rabac competed in Formula 1 between 1977 and 1981. He managed to get 13 career points back in the day when only the top 6 finishers managed to get points. His best season was his final season in F1 competing for Brabham in 1981, but despite being the teammate of the guy who won the championship that year, Nelson Piquet, he never managed to stand on the podium, but he did manage to get 3 fourth place finishes in his career there, all coming in 1981. Interestingly as well, he was also a team owner competing under his own name effectively, Team Rabac, in 1979 and 1978, basically driving rebadged Lotuses, but he also designed his own car as well, the Rabac HR100, although it was not the best. It entered 3 Grand Prix and failed to qualify for 2 of them, retiring from the 3rd one. So yeah, good effort though. I mean, you never see that nowadays. You never see, you know, someone driving a car of their own name. The closest we have to that is Lance Stroll of Aston Martin, and that is a long way from that. Now, the next one. Now, this is going to cause some controversy, I am sure about it, but because he was so young when he passed away, and there is so much unfulfilled potential here, there is definitely an argument to put Ricardo Rodriguez higher on this list. You could even make an argument to put him top of the list. This guy was an unbelievable talent back in the day. So Ricardo Rodriguez, he only competed in 6 Grand Prix between 1961 and 1962, but he was absolutely touted for greatness. He actually tried to enter the Le Mans 24-hour race back in late 50s when he was only 16 years of age, but he refused entry just because he was so young. In those 5 races that he managed to start, because he entered 6 but actually only competed in 5 of them, he did manage to get some points finishes. Again, back in the days when you were only the top 6 managed to get points. A 4th place at Belgium, his highest finish of all time. He competed for Ferrari as well, and he was only 20 years of age when he passed away. This guy had a massive amount of potential, really, but I think I do factor this into these kind of list videos. But because he was so young and there was so much unfulfilled potential, I think maybe 3rd's right. But you could definitely argue that this guy is the best of all time from Mexico. But like I said, because he was so young when he passed away, it's really difficult for me to put him higher. But he held a record, interestingly, he held some records for a long time. He actually was the youngest front row starter in a Grand Prix when he qualified 2nd at the 1961 Italian Grand Prix. That record was held all the way until 2016 when Max Verstappen broke it. But yeah, when he was competing in practice for his home race in 1962 in Mexico, tragically he passed away due to a accident, a suspension failure in the Lotus, and yeah, passed away at the age of 20. So one of Formula 1's greatest unfulfilled talents, one of the most high-profile victims really in that era when it was a lot more dangerous to compete in F1. F1. But yeah, you could definitely argue he'd be top. I would not disagree with you on that. But for me personally, I think because he was so young and only competed in so few races, it's hard for me to put him higher. But anyway, answers on a postcard on that one. I'm sure that'll be a controversial one, but we'll see what people think at the end of the day. It's an opinion thing, you know, these pieces. It's not facts at the end of the day. But yeah, next up, second on the list, I've put Sergio Checo Perez. Of course, the only Mexican in Formula 1 who competes right now. He's the highest placed Mexican driver of all time as well. Got second place last year in the championship. For me, Perez is a really difficult one to kind of grade over his whole career because he pulled off absolute miracles in the Sauber and the Force India and the Racing Point. And since he's gone to Red Bull, there's only really the 21 season for me that he did a good job. You know, aside from that, I would not really say that he's done a good job at Red Bull. But then again, it's a very difficult environment to be in. At the end of the day, though, he is the most successful Mexican Grand Prix driver of all time. 280 Grand Prix that he's competed in, 6 wins, 39 podiums, 3 pole positions, 12 fastest laps. So that's why Perez is that high up. But I'm putting someone else higher than him. Again, someone who passed away before his time, really, Pedro Rodriguez. Now, if you've ever wondered why the Hermanos Rodriguez circuit is called the Hermanos Rodriguez circuit, it's because of the Rodriguez brothers. That's literally what it means. Pedro and Ricardo. And this is Pedro, who did have a longer run in Formula 1. He competed between 1963 and 1971. He got 2 victories and 7 podiums. Again, back in an era when Formula 1 was a lot more dangerous, a lot less unreliable. He also won the 24 Hours of Le Mans as well, which showed that this guy had some serious talent. But yeah, unfortunately, he passed away in 1971 at the Norris Ring, if you've ever heard of that circuit, in Germany. Just a tragic accident, which was really horrible. And interestingly, he actually won the 24 Hours of Le Mans with Lucien Bianchi, who's a great nephew, Jules, I should say. Jules competed in Formula 1 as well many years later. But yeah, had a long career in Formula 1, unreliable cars back then. He could have potentially achieved more had he lived. You never know. Ferrari or BRM, whoever he would have been driving for at that time, could have got their act together. He also drove for Lotus as well. So a very highly rated driver, and someone that, because he had unfulfilled potential, he could have lived longer. I've put him above Sergio Perez for that, because even though Sergio Perez did get a runner-up spot in the championship last season, he was nowhere near winning the championship. Rodriguez, though, could have got closer had he not passed away when he did. But yeah, those are the top 5 Mexican Grand Prix drivers of all time. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below on this one, guys, and for much more content in the build-up to the Mexican Grand Prix this weekend, keep it tuned here to the F1Chronicle.com.